What is going on, y'all? This is the Caveman. I'm here with Football with Oz Austin for episode 79 of Against the Blitz. And for your midweek episode, we are doing something that I think is going to be very fun, trying to relate to every single fan base out there. And we're going to put ourselves in the shoes of fans of every single NFL team and tell you how we would feel if we were fans of that team in the current state of said team. So this is going to be fun. I think we are both going to have teams we're more passionate about. Some teams are not as strongly feeling toward. And with all that said, Austin did the AFC, I did the NFC. We're going to try to keep each one short because there's 32 football teams and we don't want to, run too long. But yeah, this should be fun. There were some that I was like, rah, and then other ones, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of the same deal. Mine weren't all just emotions. Some were kind of like a very brief question. Some are like something I'm really excited about. Some are, maybe a certain player that I really want on my team. But yeah, we're keeping it short and sweet, like he said. And I guess we can just start it off. Who do you got starting it off with your NFC?
So I'll start with the NFC North. We're going to bounce back one by one by division. So I'll start at the top of the NFC North. And if I were a Bears fan right now, I would be fucking ecstatic. It's as simple as that, right? You have Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, but down the ladder, you really recognize why this team is doing as well as they are. Like, it doesn't just start and end with those two guys. Colson Loveland, Luther Burden, and Rome Odunze make up quite possibly one of the most promising young supporting casts in football right now. You can add Darnell Wright to that mix, who has really broken out this season. And I was kind of thinking, to some extent, is Dennis Allen kind of like Steve Spagnuolo light in the sense that he just sucks at being a head coach? He's not fit for the job, but he's found his Andy Reid in Ben Johnson, and he might just stick if he is a long-term successful coordinator like he's been in 2025. So, like I said, I'd be elated if I was a Bears fan. And right now, I think you're looking at a top 3 quarterback head coach duo in the entire league.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, a lot of the other top QBs, even guys like Burrow, like they're kind of keeping their coaches afloat. Mm-hmm. This is one where it actually does feel like the coach is bringing out the best in the young QB. And the QB himself is playing really good football. Like, outside of the completion percentage, everything else is so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think Stafford, McVay, Mahomes, Reed, May, and Vrabel are the only 3 I really thought of, and I was strongly like, yeah, they're in there. Otherwise, like Josh and McDermott, nah. And then where does it go from there?
I mean, there's some QBs that have like defensive coaches, but I don't even like count that. It's just the QB being good. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's fair. For me, to start in the North, I'm going to go with the Browns. And I'm actually really annoyed if I'm a Browns fan. And not because of how bad my team is, I'm used to that, but because of the discourse around your quarterback being Shedeur Sanders, where there is really only like 2 ends of the spectrum. On one end, you are to glaze everything that he does. Everything is Jerry Jeudy's fault. On the other hand, you're like, get this thug off my football team. I want nothing to do with him. They can't just exist and watch a rookie quarterback. Like, everything has to be some kind of narrative with them. And that would be really annoying.
Agreed. And it really overshadows a lot of what else has been going on. We've kind of unintentionally done it ourselves in recapping some Browns games these past couple of weeks, where we're only talking about Shedeur and not like Myles Garrett, who's going to be having a record-setting season, and Quinshon Judkins having a great year, and Mason Graham, who's been excellent, and how good the draft haul has been generally. But we're just so focused on Josiana Anderson and her antics.
Yeah, like, you have no choice. Like, that's all anyone talks about. Like, yeah, Myles Garrett only had 1 sack last game. Boo. Bad. Like, it's like, unless he gets 4, we're not talking about him. It's about one of the most like talked about rookie quarterbacks ever, especially for a 5th round pick.
He's also like one of the most mocked by other players. Like, I don't know if you saw, there was a few players from who did they just play and lose to?
The Niners.
The Niners, like Demarcus Robinson and a couple other players were posting pictures of them like holding up their wrist, and then they had the audio perfect timing like on their post, and they were just like mocking it. It's like, why? What did Shedeur do to these guys?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Feel bad for them.
They're probably annoyed too. It's the same thing. Like it's either like the craziest fan base of all time that can see no reason, or the most like devoted haters that also can see no reason.
Well, Deshaun Watson will be starting there very soon. So.
Oh my God, yes, he will. That's also annoying. Everything's annoying with them.
Yeah, that's so true. The next team I have is the Packers, and if I were a Packers fan, I'd be feeling anxious right now. Like this is a high variance football team, and the offense could look like a well-oiled machine any given week, but it also could look like a discombobulated disaster any other week. And this is clearly a team that has Super Bowl aspirations and Super Bowl potential, but I've voiced my concern about Jordan Love. He's coming off of a strong week, but that's really where a lot of my issues come in. And I get he was and he is currently growing, but in his 3 playoff games, he's got a 5-5 touchdown to interception ratio. We haven't really seen him thrive too much in one of those big games outside of against Dallas, which I don't know if that really counts anymore. But the other part is the pressure is really on them now. You go and make a trade for Micah Parsons, and you're telling your fan base and the entire Wisconsin area that we are going to win a Super Bowl within these next 1 to 2 to 3 years. And obviously these guys aren't going to be going anywhere long term, I think, but you get to see the cap hit of 2027, 2028, and 2029 for Jordan Love and Micah Parsons. That is going to hit like a fucking truck. So that's why the pressure's on. And I just don't know if this team and the core pieces of it are truly ready to take on that challenge and bring it home in the window of time that they've kind of allotted themselves. So I'm like excited, but I'm also like, oh my God, like if this doesn't work out, I'm just anxious about it.
Yeah, because you can smell a window. Like, when that window is open and there's a pie on the windowsill. Like, that's exactly where they're at right now. This and maybe next year are their window. So there is like excitement. Like, yeah, we're here. Like, we have a chance. But there is anxiousness with that because it's like, unless our GM can like really do some gymnastics and work around these contracts, like this might be our best chance in a long time. So we're really gonna need that Super Bowl, like now or tomorrow, but sometime in the near future, or I'm gonna be really, really anxious about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that has had long-term success, but they haven't. They won one with Rodgers in 2011, but other than that, they haven't been like ripping off NFC championships and Super Bowl appearances left and right, despite the great quarterback play they've had. So, yeah, I just would be like, oh my God, I know we need it. We need it right now, and if it doesn't happen, then then what? So, yeah.
So for my next team, the Steelers. If I'm a Steelers fan, I am only just feeling deja vu. This is the exact same season the Steelers have had every single year, and it looks no different. I don't care who's playing quarterback. I don't care that it's not Najee Harris anymore. This is the same thing that we've seen every single year. And even though it's flipped, even though the defense is kind of like the one struggling, it's the same damn thing. It's just a bunch of old people running around my football field with Mike Tomlin at head coach. It's just hyper conservatism and a 500 record. It's everything that we've ever seen from a Pittsburgh football team since like the mid 2010s.
Yeah, deja vu is perfectly describing the Steelers, and I'm sure they're fans right now. Yeah, what more is there to say about Pittsburgh? Like everyone at this point, everyone does know it. Even Pittsburgh's own fans are bringing pitchforks and torches to Acrisure right now because they are just they're that fed up. I think this is the closest that we have gotten to a potential Tomlin firing, and the Steelers fan base unanimously agreeing that it is actually time for their beloved golden boy to be gone. Like, this is the closest we've gotten.
And he's not even doing any worse than he's ever been. It's just the exact same thing. And they're just like, It's like they're just tired of being in the same cycle. Like, what's that movie, Happy Death Day?
Yes.
Where they just keep waking up and it's the same day over and over again, and they can't figure that. Like, that's what it is to be a Steelers fan. It's just like the draft happens, you're really excited because they draft well. You're excited about your draft, and then the season starts and you have a pretty decent record. You lose a couple easy games, then you get crushed in the wild card. It's the exact same year every single year for them.
How depressing. Happy Death Day is a good poll. That is exactly what's happening for poor Steelers fans. And the thing is, I think this is probably the best chance that they've had to win a Super Bowl with all of these mediocre teams. But it doesn't mean much. But this is probably the one I would say, okay, if there was ever some chance in this burning hellhole of them winning, then this, I guess, would be it. But
yeah,
low bar.
Not happening.
No. Well, if I was a Lions fan right now, I'd be feeling discouraged quite a bit. And you went into this year hoping that you'd rebound well from losing Ben Johnson, Tanner Engstrand, Aaron Glenn. But clearly those things they're taking a toll early on in their departure. And you expected it to, but I think it's hitting a little bit harder than they'd hoped, especially with Dan Campbell feeling like he's had to step in and play call over the last couple weeks. You know that right now they're 7-5. They are dealing with some injuries, but they're not probably coming out of the NFC. And if they're not able to get healthier by the time the playoffs really roll around, they're definitely not going to be that team. And then you look at the Super Bowl slope, they are they're on the downturn side of the slope, right? And Jared Goff, his cap hit doubles in 2026. So we're going to be entering this period as we just slowly decline for Detroit, where we're just kind of waiting until the days of Goff kind of pass. And that lead that we, in this context, blew to San Francisco is just going to sting more and more as you just slowly recognize the decline of the team overall, because what they went 14-3 last year. They'll probably be like a 10-11 win team this year. And then maybe the next year they're a 9-10 win. It's just going to continue to slowly decline until they're like, yeah, you know what? This ain't it. And then Jared Goff is gone. And then you got to restart again.
Yeah. This team, I think, is also another candidate of deja vu, but it's like better, where it's still like regular season Warriors. They always have a good offense. They always have good pieces on defense, but still it looks like they win and lose in the exact same way. And you can kind of predict how they're going to lose in the playoffs this next season. Like, you can see it in your head. Like, Jared Goff, the game script goes wild. He gets under pressure. He makes weird decisions. They go for it on fourth and they don't get it. And everyone wants to shoot Dan Campbell. Like, there is a very clear, like, this is just the same thing over and over again. And that is discouraging.
Yeah, it definitely is, because you just going from whatever Detroit was for most of the 2010s to having such high emotion in the early 2020s and finally experiencing some success. And you got so damn close to going from 0 to literally 100 in the Super Bowl in just a matter of a couple of years with a quarterback that you thought was just going to be a bridge guy. So you just turn everything on its head so fast. It's going from like a very cold shower to a very hot shower. And now your shower, and you're going to feel your hot water just kind of running out slowly. And, over time, you're like, oh, man, the shower's getting colder. It's getting harder to prepare.
I got 4 minutes left. Yeah.
Yep. So that's how I feel about the Lions right now. Just it's a hot shower that's just getting cooler by the week.
Just a bunch of wet guys. Yeah, that sucks. All right. Well, if I am a Bengals fan, actually. But if I had to imagine one, I would say unfortunately optimistic, because the entire season you're like, all right, Caleb Downs, all right, Arvell Reese, welcome to the squad, guys. Like, we might pick top 5, and then they win a couple, and you're like, okay, calm down. And then they get Burrow back, and they immediately look like the best team in the world again against the Ravens, where the defense finally has looked good. Miles Murphy is a good player now for some reason. Everything is looking good the last couple of weeks. I mean, even without Burrow, Trey Hendrickson, or Jamar, they almost beat the Patriots. Like, they are playing really well in some of these games that, unfortunately, for some people, is kind of a good thing, because you're not going to have that draft capital anymore if they win a couple more games. And it's also just, it's not, unless we win out completely, there's no playoffs here. So you're just going to win a bunch of extra games for maybe nothing.
Yeah, it's okay to say this is pointless because it kind of feels like it. even if you do get in, like if you went through all this scrutiny when you could have had a top 5 pick just to then losing the divisional round. Okay, cool. Like we made something out of nothing. Where does that get us? Nowhere. Our defense is still under talented. Our quarterback is still getting pelted. And we have all this money allocated into 3 players without the ability to acquire new talent. Like it does feel pointless, regardless of what the result is, if it's not a Super Bowl, which is ultimately why you would want to bring Burrow back in such a desolate season. But I guess it's his decision. He kind of did
like
that.
If you can make the playoffs, I find that a success. I mean, people can see like this year how hard it is to even make it sometimes. Like one of the Lions or Packers or Bears might not even make it, which is insane. So like if they can make it, like that's one of the big goals of the season. That would be awesome. But they have to completely win out because of a couple of tough losses they took in the Jake Browning and Flacco era. But the optimism is that you just beat the bricks out of the Ravens. Your defense has looked a lot better the last 2 seasons or last 2 games, and Burrow is back and didn't look like he missed a beat.
Yeah, which is crazy. I did think there was going to be some rust to knock off, given the injury he suffered.
It's like 4 passes.
Yeah,
and it was good.
He's a machine. He really is. Well, if I were a Vikings fan, I would be skeptical right now. And if I'm sitting there in purple, I'm willing to accept that this year just isn't quite living up to the year that we thought it could be, sliding McCarthy in for Sam Darnold. And I'm also willing to go to the extent of accepting that maybe J.J. McCarthy isn't the guy. But now I'm getting to the point where I'm potentially skeptical of Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi, I can't say the rest of it, and the general manager. The people that run this organization, these were 2 guys that were kind of idolized quite a bit for these last couple of seasons. And now we're seeing the way that O'Connell kind of handled the Carson Wentz and J.J. McCarthy situation. That was odd, and there was never really, or there hasn't been good quarterback play from either of those guys. And then how you have Brosmer step in and probably wasn't expected. You probably shouldn't have been expecting the world, but that went as bad as when Tyler Huntley played for Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins. That was the level of how bad it was. And that was when Mike McDaniel's seat, in my opinion, looked as scorching hot as it could have.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when you realize, okay, maybe Mike McDaniel isn't this genius offensive sculptor that we potentially thought he was. And those were kind of the feelings I had and have had while seeing Wentz and McCarthy and now Brosmer out there just struggling to pass the ball to some of the best weapons in football. So I'm skeptical about who's really running the show. And then you look at Kwesi as well, right? He's had these past, 3 years of draft classes.
Bad.
Nothing good has come out of them. I mean, Jordan Addison is probably the best player. They overpaid like hell to trade up to 17 for Dallas Turner, and he's slowly coming on, I guess, but still nowhere near what you'd expect at this stage. He traded a 4th for Adam Thielen, who's now a Steeler as of like the last few days. So you went from being unsure about your quarterback going into the season to it going so up in flames to the point where I am skeptical about the coach that we all thought was one of the best and still probably is, but there are certainly questions to answer.
Yeah. I mean, I think it also just is unfortunate of just who they've had to roll out there. I mean, this is an older Carson Wentz that has been injured to high hell. This is a undrafted free agent in Brosmer that had to go against arguably the best defense in the league in his debut. And then it was just J.J. McCarthy, who's just flat out stunk. But he himself has also been a little banged up and had some offensive line and receiver injuries. So it has been unfortunate. I think the most unfortunate was just the decision to not have Darnold anymore. And that would make me the most skeptical. I'm most skeptical of Kwesi for not only like the drafting. We've known he sucks at drafting, but like the free agent classes were so good before that you could like make it worth it. But if they're not going to keep bringing in guys like that every single year, like the way that they structured their defensive tackle room this season was pretty bad. And that is also partially the reason why their defense isn't like that top 5 carryable level defense this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a hard time personally knocking their decision to go from Darnold to McCarthy because I was very on the side of doing as such, although it's also not my job to make those calls.
Right.
They're the professionals that should know better.
Yeah.
So,
well, you also don't know how good or bad McCarthy was. Like, that's their job in practice to evaluate him and be like, okay, this guy can't do anything, dude. Why is he here? We're just kind of guessing based off of like a very small sample size in preseason. We didn't know how bad JJ McCarthy was. Like he was in their room and he was good enough to them. And I think that they were confident enough that Sam Darnold wasn't that guy that they moved off of him. And it was just the bad move. It's hindsight, but everything's hindsight. It was bad.
Yes, I think that's fair. I think hindsight. I think when people say, "Oh, it's hindsight," I think that's an excuse to not blame or take blame for some things. Like in some cases, yes, absolutely, there is no blame to go around. Hindsight is hindsight, but there are other cases where it's like it's all right to admit that maybe that just was ultimately the wrong choice, and I think that applies here.
I think hindsight is just a really good way of saying like your process just wasn't right. Like it was something that we heard a lot with like the whole Kyle Pitts thing, where it was like, well, hindsight, like he was a generational prospect, whatever. Hindsight really means he probably wasn't a generational prospect at all, and we should probably reevaluate the way that we're evaluating tight ends. That's what that means to me. That doesn't mean that like they were right to do that. We can understand why they did it, but in the same way, going forward, maybe you should keep the veteran quarterback if that backup quarterback isn't ready.
Yeah, agreed. I like that.
For my next team, if I am the Ravens, if I'm a Ravens fan, I am simply just confused. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I'm not happy. I'm just really curious where everything is going wrong. Derrick Henry doesn't look himself. He only had 10 carries anyways. I don't know if it was a true statistic, but did I read he was outsnapped by Rasheen Ali at running back?
I thought I saw he was outsnapped between Hill and Ali combined or something like that.
Maybe. That shouldn't even happen.
Either way. It was a close enough game for most of it.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like he was like the only thing that was actually good in that game for them. I'm confused why. Like I know why. Like Lamar's banged up, but he still shouldn't be this bad. Like why the defense isn't nearly as good as we thought, even when they're all healthy. It's just a confusing season that I would kind of be upset about.
I think it's also equally as confusing as I read my phone and see that the team we're talking about in the Baltimore Ravens reached a 3-year, $39.3 million extension that includes $26 million guaranteed for Mark Andrews at the age of 30 years old, who's having...
This is like his worst year ever.
Yeah, a relatively not good year. So the Isaiah Likely breakout, which honestly feels like it should have happened by now, so it's obviously not. But if it ever was going to happen, isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I think I hate that actually.
Yeah, like why did they do that?
Like how many tight ends when they start getting bad at 30 years old become really good at 33?
Mm-hmm.
Like Zach Ertz, maybe. Like I don't know. He's not even Zach Ertz. That's pretty stupid. I'd also be really confused about that move.
Yeah, that confused, and Mark Andrews' extension at this time of the season fits perfectly.
Yeah, perfectly. I mean, if this was even last season, he was bad down the stretch, but he had a lot of touchdowns. Like he was a really good red zone threat last season, at least. This year, I don't think he has maybe more than less than a handful.
That's what I was thinking. Like he
2 or 3.
He got 5 this year.
Really 5? Wow. Still, like a lot of people have 5.
I think I'm reading this correctly. He's had 2 games with 2, so he's only scored a touchdown at least one touchdown in 3 games. So 5 is great and all, but if you're scoring 5 in just 3 games specifically, like what is your week-to-week impact really looking like?
Yeah, that's just confusing. Either way, like the whole season's confusing, and we've talked about it endlessly. Trying to point fingers: is it Lamar? Is it Harbaugh? Is it the GM? Is it the defense? Is it just injuries? Still not really like a clear picture on that yet.
Totally. Yeah, and I'm not sure we're going to get one, really.
Nope.
I think this season will just end. They'll chalk it up as a disappointment. We'll go into next year wondering how it could be any different.
Yeah.
Really. Well, I'll go to the NFC East now. And if I were an Eagles fan right now, I would be fed up. I would be just as fed up as the actual Eagles fans are. I think from an outside perspective, a lot of people look at Philadelphia fans as not just lunatics, but lunatics that are like ungrateful to an extent. Like you've won multiple Super Bowls over the course of the last 10 years. You're 8-4 at the top of the division, one of the top teams in the NFC, and these people are just bitching. But I don't think they're ungrateful at all. I think it's very okay to be fed up with the process that occurs on a week-to-week basis that just doesn't seem to have any sort of resolution or attempted resolution, if you will. Yeah. And I think it all comes down to really the ineptitude of Nick Sirianni, truthfully. Howie Roseman brings in all the talent. Vic Fangio has done an excellent job with the defensive side of the ball, but now this is the second time where an offensive coordinator has been play calling for them, and they struggle to essentially move the football, whether it's Kevin Patullo's fault or not, that's up to judgment, that Nick Sirianni cannot step in and try to fix. Dan Campbell right now is trying to fix the Detroit Lions offense. That's why he took over play calling. Nick Sirianni doesn't do that. This is the second time now where he could have, and he just hasn't. I don't remember if he didn't the first time, right? Didn't they pass it to Matt Patricia or something?
I don't remember who they gave it to last time around, but I think this time's even worse.
Yes,
to be honest, because they have better guys on that team. So, yeah, I think that's totally fair.
And it doesn't even stop there. It's like this is a drama factory too. So he not only can't call plays, but he also just has no control over the locker room whatsoever. So if you look at the bigger picture for Philadelphia, and I'm a fan, I'm not just upset about the way the season's going, but I'm just upset with the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles could have potentially been in the dynasty conversation, but now they're not even considered. Like the amount of talent that they have accrued over the course of these last few years is insurmountable. And the fact that they're just not even considered in that conversation is a pretty big injustice. Like they are that good on paper, but we don't even realize it because they just go out there and can't complete a first down for 3 quarters. So
yeah,
it's inexcusable, really.
It is. That's fair. We're talking about being grateful. If I'm a Dolphins fan, I am ungrateful because we are winning. Like we're 5-7. We're winning games. That's not that bad. But this is the most pointless team that's winning games right now because they don't even really have a crack at the playoffs. And they're a team that actually did desperately need like quarterback help. Like they need to be at the top of the draft. And they're now like in offensive tackle territory in like the early middle of the first. I would be very ungrateful for my wins if I'm a Dolphins fan. I just want to tank.
Yeah, they are going to probably win this week too. It'd beat the Jets and go to 6-7. So I could not agree more. I would be pissed. I would be so fucking pissed off right now if I was a Dolphins fan. Like,
yeah.
And now Mike McDaniel and Tua are going to maybe not Tua, but they're at least going to be around for a little bit longer. Tua's extended. Tua's on a contract right now. So
they don't have QB options. Like there's not that many quarterbacks in this draft that I think are going to enter and be draftable. In the free agent class, the best quarterback is Daniel Jones. And the next best quarterback after him is very much like Aaron Rodgers. It's a really bad year to need a quarterback if you're not drafting in the top 4.
And the thing with the Dolphins situation that is very odd and niche, but true, is that Tua has proven really need McDaniel. And I think you could argue that McDaniel has proven to need Tua because, we've seen other guys try to operate it. It's not been pretty. So they kind of need each other. And if you're not going to get rid of one, you're not going to get rid of the other. And now they're winning games. So now you're like, oh, yeah, it'll work. No, it won't. So this is just prolonging the mediocrity process, which is, as we've mentioned 1,000 times on this podcast, the worst cycle you can get stuck in.
Yes.
As fans would.
The plateau. The Steelers plateau. Join them.
The Steelers plateau. Well, a team that is kind of breaking the stigma that I'm excited for, personally, but also in this context, is the Cowboys. If I was a Cowboys fan, I would just be so excited because post-deadline Dallas has been a force to be reckoned with. And I would say that I would be hopeful to run the table, but we've gotten to a point where I've seen this version of the Cowboys play enough football to think that I'm confident that they run the table. They get the Lions on Thursday tonight. If you're watching this on Thursday, they win that game. The rest of their schedule is pretty much a cakewalk relative for them. So I would just be, I'm confident that this goes the way that Jerry Jones intended it to when he made these moves. And they're only 2 games behind Philly. They split the series with them. The way they're struggling, we can see them take the division back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to be excited about. Like I said, I don't want to use the word hopeful because I'm that confident it will happen that I'm excited. So looking ahead too, it just feels nice to not be a laughing stock. The Cowboys have been the punchline to so many jokes over the last few years. We joke about Jerry Jones all the damn time. And we all joke about how the Cowboys are just massive chokers and no one believes in them and the whole 9 yards. This is different. This is comfortably different. And any Cowboys fans that feel that way are validated because someone on the outside, putting myself in your shoes, absolutely sees it that way also.
Yeah. Yeah. For the first time, we won't make fun of you for like the we're back thing.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you are back for the first time in a long time. Maybe this is your year.
Yeah, we don't have to threaten Jerry Jones anymore.
Yeah, well,
maybe
it's not really a threat. It's more of a when than an if.
You're right. Threat. It's a prediction.
Yes. Well, similarly for the Patriots, if I am a Patriots fan, I am feeling invincible because they kind of have been. Like even in their ugly games, they win every single game. They're winning because they haven't really had to play anyone good since the Bills, and they didn't play anyone good before the Bills. It has just been like the easiest dominating. It feels like a college football team that like has a really easy schedule and they've just out recruited everybody. Like it feels like an Ohio State season. Like they play their Michigan, they play the Bills, and then they beat up on like Illinois all season. They beat up on Illinois and Northwestern. That's kind of how this season has gone for them. So you're feeling invincible going into the playoff. Like you feel like you are just going to keep beating the crap out of everybody. And that's fair because you've been beating the crap out of everybody. And Drake May is playing some of the best football we've seen in a while. So you have no reason not to feel that way. They're crushing it.
They play the Ashton Genty schedule. That's what we're going to call it.
Like they had their Oregon. They had the Bills. And then, it was like San Diego State and San Jose State from there. It's not even like to rip on them. Like, I'll be like, their record's crazy and like good for them for not losing to any of those teams after the Raiders game in like week 1. They're doing everything. Like, they can't control their schedule. They're doing it the right way. It's just the fact that like, that's just now giving you a sense of invincibility that like, we're going to beat the crap out of everybody. We don't lose. It's not what we do. We're Patriots.
Yeah, Twan definitely has been flaunting a little bit in our Discord. The number one Patriots fan.
It's not even just him. Like, it's just like they feel like they're fully because every team is hyper optimistic when they make a bunch of moves every single year. The Raiders fans probably would be doing the exact same thing if their season ended up the way they thought. Every team thinks they're going to be good. So it's not crazy to flaunt, be like, I told you. Every Patriots fan does it. They had like 3 years of suffering and they're back to being good already.
Yeah.
They don't know how to be humble. It's just, again, a Patriots fan's nature. They always win.
Boston. It's in Boston, in the blood
It
of
is.
Boston sports.
It is. Like there's like in Buffalo sports and in Cincinnati sports, we know nothing but being humble. Like we have to be. Because you're just gonna get torn back down again. But in New England, you're like, I was born in like 1999. I've been alive for like 7 Super Bowls. Like, yeah, so what?
7 Super Bowls and like
Not actually 7, but like
like multiple championships.
A million, like literally, like probably a championship every other year. If you're averaging them out across the major sports, I have not been alive for one.
How many championships has Boston won since 2000? Do you think?
So what? Patriots got 6, right?
Yes.
The Red Sox have a handful. The Celtics have a handful. Celtics, I think, have 2. Off the top of my head, they should have 2 since like 2000.
Since 2000, Boston sports teams have won a total of, no way, that can't be right. It said 38. No way. AI. That's not even 38 years.
That's probably counting the like 11 that Bill Russell got on the Celtics.
Right. Yeah, it definitely is incorporating. Okay, here we go. So every championship Boston has won since 2000. All of Boston sports. The Patriots have won 6 Super Bowls. The Red Sox have won 4 World Series. The Celtics have won 1 NBA championship, and the Bruins have won 1 Stanley Cup.
So every major sport you have a championship, and in some you have like a legit handful. Mm-hmm. You have no reason not to feel invincible. Like they had Mac Jones for like 3 years, and they're already like, yeah, we deserved this. We had to deal with hardship. No, you don't. Yeah. You didn't have Kyle Orton on your team. You didn't have John Kitna on your team. You don't know what suffrage tastes like. You had a first-round pick that was just slightly okay, and you still made the playoffs in those years. I don't want to hear it from you.
That was also written in 2019. I feel like the Celtics have won. Didn't they win?
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, Jason Tatum won 1. That's why I thought they had 2.
Yeah, they definitely won at least another one.
Yes, they did. I'm very confident in that.
Yeah, they won in 2024. Okay, so I add another one to that list.
Yep. That's so stupid. You just yeah, like there's no reason not to feel invincible if that's you, I guess.
Every year you're going to a fucking parade for somebody. Yeah, I haven't even been alive to see one in my city.
Oh, the last one I had was 1995 with the Reds, and I was not born.
That is insane. Yeah, the Sabres or the Bills have ever won. Oh, well, I guess the Bandits. I hate lacrosse, so I just don't give a fuck. But
that doesn't count.
It doesn't count. I'm sorry. Like they work. I'm gonna stop myself. I was gonna say they work a second job. Like, it's just not necessary. Like,
so do you. I don't want
to. I know, right? Who am I? Who am I? I guess. All right. Well, Boston fans, fuck you. I guess.
Yeah, really.
The next team. If I were a fan of the Commanders right now, I'd actually be feeling pretty content with the way things are. You know, obviously 3-9 sucks. All the injuries suck. But going back to the preseason, both you and I were very kind of skeptical about their offseason. We didn't think that they could recreate the magic that they had in 2024. So we kind of saw this coming, is basically where I'm coming from. Obviously, the injuries have really amplified the disappointment of the season. But, you know, as a fan, I'm content that this season is just going down the drain. We are entering the rebuilding phase officially that we should have been in last year. We just pretty much bypassed that. We just skipped to level 10 out of 10 out of nowhere when we really should have been at like level 3 or 4. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, they should have at least retooled. But they kind of just kept their same tools and traded a bunch of picks for Laramie Tunsil.
Right. And
it's really like all they did the entire season.
Literally. And they're like, oh, we'll do it again. Do it again. It's
yeah.
Like, all right. Like, come on. Well, like I said, I've accepted how it is. The unreasonable expectations were never realistic.
Nope.
So now we go into 2026. We have some draft capital. We have a franchise quarterback. Have faith in Adam Peters. Have faith in Dan Quinn. Sure. The moves that they've made have been, I think, pretty decent for them. The Laramie Tunsil trade, I think, has been fine. The Debo trade has been decent for them. So I have faith in the people in charge to basically take this train and put it on the right track. So
yeah,
even if we're not competing by next year, in the next couple of years, I expect the Commanders to be back at the top. And as a Commanders fan, I'd be content with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a similar but not so similar way, if I'm a Jets fan, I am scouting. I am already in draft mode. I am looking for who my next quarterback will be. Is it going to be Fernando Mendoza? We get to watch him on Saturday in the Big Ten Championship, and we get to watch him in the playoffs. Will it be Dante Moore from Oregon? We also get to see him in the college football playoffs. Like, I am tuned in for that. I'm not even watching my own team's games. I am watching to see who my next quarterback will be.
After the Jets decided to go for it on like 4th and 8 with Justin Fields after he had taken like 13 sacks in that game and only completed like one pass of maybe 7 yards. Do you remember that in like week 8 or something? Once that happened, that's when I would have started scouting that week, right?
Yes, 1000%. Like, I'm looking at Dante Moore. Like, he probably has like the easiest stroke since Stroud. I would argue he's even a more natural passer than Stroud. And it's like, I would rather put him in today as a like 21-year-old college student than either of the Jets starting quarterbacks right now, which is insane. So like, yeah, I am scouting. Like, I would bet on like the personality traits of Fernando Mendoza and the size and the accuracy. Like, I'll take that over what Fields is giving me right now. Cut him. I don't even care. Bring in one of those two.
What a disaster. And Aaron Glenn walks around dancing and being a goofball as if he's got any credit to his name. It's like, buddy,
but low key, like, but like he's kept them in these games though.
No,
have they even gotten blown out in like the entire like last 3 months? Like, I feel like they keep every game so tight.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Like, I think that they are like doing okay. Like, yeah, they lost by 1 score to the Panthers, 1 score to the Browns. Actually, they beat the Browns. They lost kind of closer to the Patriots. They kept it close to the Ravens. They just beat the Falcons. They beat the Bengals.
Yeah.
They were close. They almost beat the Broncos in that game.
That was crazy.
They lost the Buccaneers by 2. Like, they lost the Steelers by 2. Like, they are keeping games close. Like, they're a gritty football team. And I do give that Aaron Glenn credit for that. I just want to see what happens with this team with a quarterback. I think that their record is increased by like 5 wins.
Oh yeah, comfortably. I mean, just looking at the 1-score games that we just mentioned, like
literally, like if they had a quarterback that could throw for 200 yards and didn't get booed every single time he went on the football field, I think that they're in really good shape.
Even Tyrod, I think, starting all season wins them more than what they've got. So
he comes in and he freaking beats the Falcons like immediately.
He didn't even play bad last week, too. He played against the Ravens, right? That was a close game for a lot of it. So,
yeah,
scored 10. But anyway,
I've also heard it's not Tyrod, by the way.
Tyrod, yeah,
that's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
I can't get over it. He waited too long. It's native to my tongue. I'm not changing it, buddy. Bijan, not happening either.
It is Bijan.
It's Bijan.
That's how I've been with Detroit, saying Detroit instead of Detroit, because that's kind of how I've learned that a lot of native Detroiters say Detroit.
I think I said Detroit.
I think I used to just say like whatever I felt like.
Yeah,
I would say both, but now I say Detroit.
Out of spite.
No, because you're supposed to say Detroit.
Oh, you're saying they say Detroit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Detroit. A lot of people say Detroit.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which is weird. Not to spend a lot of time on Detroit, but
if I was a Giants fan right now, I would be cautiously optimistic. This season sucked. It is what it is, but there is so much talent. You believe you have the quarterback. You have the offensive line, which has probably been the biggest surprise of the season, quite frankly. You have the receiver, the running backs, receivers, I will go as far as to say, the running backs, the defensive talent across the board, especially up front. You have basically everything. You just need the coach to put it all together properly. And that's where the cautiousness and the cautious approach kind of comes in, because there clearly is an ineptitude when it comes to hiring the correct staff. So I am optimistic because of the roster and the talent on it. I just don't know if I trust, the Giants organization to find someone after going through the same process of fire coach, then fire GM, then fire GM, then fire coach, and then fire coach, then fire. Like, it's just the same shit. And we're seeing it again. So why would I believe a different story is coming?
Yeah. I mean, they were freaking making Joe Schoen cry damn near in the presser because they were going after him. I don't know if you saw that, but they weren't letting him off easy.
I know,
at all. They were like, so you kind of framed it that Dart was Daboll's guy. Are you going to try and take credit for that now? And he was like, well, it was our process. And they were like, no, that was Daboll's guy. But it's funny you said that because I actually picked that for my next team, the Bills. I also said the exact words, cautiously optimistic, because that Steelers fan, like that Steelers game, like you saw a lot of really good stuff. I mean, this team is rushing for the most yards per game of any team in the league. Like their offense has been operating at a high level, but it hasn't always looked pretty. I'm sure you're used to a million times. That's why they signed Brandon Cooks. They're having a really hard time passing the ball. Their run defense, it still isn't really quite where you would want a playoff team to be. And it's hard, though, because they are playing good football. Like, they are a good football team. We've known them to be a good football team. Josh Allen, we've known him to be a great quarterback. It's just there's now a caution to it. Like there's not that like Patriots level excitement anymore, like giddying your way into the playoffs. Like, haha, let's go see who we can beat. Maybe we might make it. Now it's like, if we don't make it, like we're screwed because we are getting worse every single year, like personnel wise. Or Deion Dawkins is getting old. Like some guys are getting old. Like we need to go soon. And it's hard, but I am still optimistic that like we're good. Like we're a good football team, but I'm just cautious.
Agreed. I feel the exact same way. I've been trying to tell people I watch games with, being a Bills fan, just to kind of readjust your expectations. Like, I feel like anybody that was rational about this season would have gone into that Steelers game fully expecting it to be worth eye gouging, just pulling your eyes out of its socket. And because I knew, and anybody that has been adjusting themselves for Bills games weekly should know that game was going to be as nasty and disgusting as it truly was.
Yeah.
And if you adjust, then, it's easier to enjoy the highs, and then the lows don't hit as hard. Like, are we winning the Super Bowl this year? Most likely not. And as Bills fans, we should know better than anybody to not let our expectations get too high and just to be happy when good things happen. Like, we have lived our entire lives like that. Like, expect disappointment and be happy when good things happen. That is where we're back to, just on a slightly higher scale, because Josh Allen's our quarterback. But we are very familiar with that mindset. And if we have to revisit it for this season, then fine. If we have to revisit it for the next couple of years, then someone's probably getting shot. But we'll get there when we get there.
That's fair. So who you got?
The next team, I'll hop to the West. The Rams. If I was a Rams fan, I would be feeling lavish, very elegant, sophisticated, if you will. We won our Super Bowl a few years ago. Everyone claimed we were down and out. Everyone acted like there was no way we'd be competing again in the next few years. But like an entrepreneur who built his billion-dollar first company and then decided, hey, I'm going to do it again from scratch. And then you do. And here we are. Now I feel, talk about invincible. Now I feel invincible. Now I feel like I have the keys to the whole world. Like, I don't care what state of life I find myself in, dirt poor or no draft picks or no talent. I'm smart enough, we're smart enough to get back to where we need to be fast. And
so annoying.
That is exactly what the Rams have proven. And this time, not only if they win another Super Bowl, but they have the resources to basically catapult themselves back with a potential top 7, top 5 pick from Atlanta. So they can't do anything wrong, really.
Yeah, that'd be so nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, right.
Just the only thing like that's kind of on the horizon is like the quarterback if Stafford retires. But like I'm not even worried. Like no one's worried about them because we're all so like positive they'll figure it out. Because they just do. We're like, oh my god, worst defense in the league on paper, like 2 years ago. But they draft like Byron Young and Kobe Turner, both turn into studs. They turn everything around. They don't even need good linebackers. I mean, they turned Nate Landman into a guy getting Pro Bowl votes. Like, it's stupid, but it's fair. Like they're just a fluffy, happy-go-lucky team that they get to live in LA. Like everything about them is just so like picture perfect. Like the uniforms are clean. The stadium is big and beautiful. The coach is doing everything the right way. The GM's doing everything the right way. Stafford plays the most beautiful football of any quarterback, borderline ever. It's annoying.
They're just handsome in like every sense. Like the way they play football, very clean, very very beautiful. Stafford's a good-looking guy. Devontae
very
Adams,
Jimmy G, very Jimmy G of teams.
Yes, right.
Yeah, if Jimmy G was good, he would be their quarterback.
Yes, he would.
Because it just makes sense. Perfect. It just makes sense.
I think that probably, if I had to choose from square one a team to be a fan of,
yes,
I would want to be a Rams fan right now. Yep. 100%.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go to the other team in LA for the Chargers, and I'm still saying not his fault. That's how I'm feeling. Like Herbert has done everything. Like, and it's true. Like, God, how often have we seen a quarterback that like they'll get him better? Like they'll be like, okay, we'll help you. We'll get a good defense. By the way, we're taking all of your receivers. Gone, all of them. This year that we're like, okay, we're gonna get you a good line. God said, nope. I'm taking both of their lower bodies. You get Bobby Hart. And then it's like Bobby Hart and like Kamani Vidal out there that are like impact players. And then your defense is like kind of mediocre again. It's just like every time that they give him something, they're like, yeah, here's Mike Williams and Eckler and Keenan Allen. Like you got great receivers. By the way, your defense is like 30th in the league and you're going to have to burrow your way to wins. He's like, okay, I'll try that. He puts up like 5,000 yards, loses in the playoffs, gets it made fun of. This year, it's the same thing. Like he started off great. Entire team got hurt. He performed worse. And they're like, oh yeah, it's that guy's fault. Get him. But like, no, hold on. Like he's being screwed over again because that's just what happens to him. And I would be willing to back up my quarterback yet again.
That's without mentioning the fact that God also decides that he's going to get hurt every year. It could be a rib injury. It could be a thumb injury. It could be like a hand injury. He just had fucking surgery on his left hand, and no one knows if he's playing next week. He's always dealing with an ailment all the time.
And that's the whole. That's what happens when you take Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater away from me on my football team. You take two guys that are legitimate all pro caliber offensive tackles that you've invested so much capital into. They're both gone, and not only gone, they're gone early in the year. Like it's not like they got injured like week 13 and you kind of have to go without them. You know, you have like Trey Pipkins or something. Nope. I think they even hurt Trey Pipkins. Like I think we got past the depth. We got into like unplayable free agents that we had to pick up off the street. So now they are like they're moving guards to tackle. They are doing everything they're capable of doing. Not Herbert's fault. And I'll stand on that again.
I don't know why that's so tough for people to get through their heads.
Because they're stupid. They're like, no playoff win, no compliments. There are like 3 quarterbacks per year that are actually allowed to be complimented. Everyone else sucks.
Yep. Trevor Penning did indeed play 47 snaps at left tackle in week 11.
That's crazy.
That was the game they lost by 30 to Jacksonville, if we remember correctly.
Yep.
So that tracks.
That was like Josh Hines Allen's like first good game all year long. Why do you think that is? Yeah. Crazy.
Well, if I am a Seahawks fan right now, I would be grateful. I think that's a good word. They are a team that not a lot of people had a lot of faith in. And if I were a Seahawks fan preseason or just a fan of football, I would have been like, I hope it's just an all right year, a rebuilding stepping stone. We got our bridge quarterback in Sam Darnold, who we didn't pay too much for. And JSN's kind of breaking out. And we got Cooper Kupp to kind of help us. And, hopefully the defense kind of comes along. Well, never did I think a Sam Darnold, Geno Smith swap and trading our wide receiver one and getting Clint Kubiak would suddenly, turn this into a high-powered offense with the Legion of Boom back. Like, whoever saw this coming, I think this has been one of the most drastic turnarounds. Turnarounds. Let's say the way they shattered my expectations was about as how do I want to put this? As unexpected, I guess, as it gets. Like, they not only beat my expectations, they just shattered them. So if I'm a Seahawks fan right now, even if I don't think I'm winning the Super Bowl this year, it's hard to be disappointed with what this organization has done. So I'm just grateful that I have a team that's not just killing me to watch every week.
Yeah, like I was very high on them, and they're still beating my expectations. Like I think I said the highest I'd go is probably like 11 wins. I think I said they're pretty close to that. I think they're at 9 wins already, right? Like they're already better than I thought. Like I thought their defense would be really good. That's why I thought they'd be this good. I didn't think they would have like the most efficient passing offense in the NFL. And like I thought JSN was going to break out. I didn't think he'd be, the second best receiver in football this season. Like everything that I thought they'd do, they're doing, and they're doing it amplified by 100. And that's so cool.
Yeah, it is. And while I do believe the Packers ultimately have better chances to win the Super Bowl, the fact that they have a lot of pressure on them to do so, and a team like Seattle, who I could see making it out with that defense, has no pressure at all. They're kind of playing with house money right now, as far as I know. So you can make it all the way. You can not make it at all. There's no pressure. I think everyone in Seattle is very happy with the season they've had, and it could be done right now. They'd be chilling.
Yeah. Well, kind of to go with almost the Seahawks of the AFC, the Broncos, I'm feeling magical because you have everything going your way, no matter what. I like we talked about it before. Like every single time Bo Nix throws a ball in the clutch, it is completed, even if it's not completed by the guy you intended. Like it'll bounce off your guy's face mask and then fly 10 yards and be caught by your own player. You'll completely miss a guy on a crosser and you'll accidentally hit the guy on the deeper crosser. Like everything that we're trying to do is just happening. And the defense is playing just as elite as we thought. Everything that they are wanting to happen to win games just happens. They can will anything to happen. They have stolen the Chiefs' magic and they have made it their own.
They have. There's something in the AFC West that we got to get our hands on in Buffalo because
I need some of that.
It's ridiculous. Like they cannot do wrong.
The only equivalent we have is when we like actually severely injure, maim, or kill players on our 50-yard line. That is the only thing that we have, because it's happened like at least 5 different times that I've gone to games. That's the only magic we have is don't touch the 50-yard line if you're playing the Bengals in primetime. Don't do it. You will die or be severely maimed or injured. But like that's their own version of like you can play whatever defense you want against this Broncos defense. Even if you play it correctly, even if you deflect the pass, you are just going to deflect it directly into a receiver's hands. Mm-hmm. He will spawn behind you and catch it. And Bo Nix will be the greatest quarterback to ever live just because of that.
They legitimately cannot do any wrong right now. It's
insane.
So annoying. It is so annoying.
It's so insane. I don't understand how they paid for this, but
I don't know. But we know Riley Moss wasn't sacrificed, but I'm sure as hell thinking that they wish it was him that they sacrificed in the preseason.
He's the only one. Like every single like receiver that touches like goes against him gets like a 25% stat boost. Yeah. Like how is Treylon Burks moving that way? How did he catch that? It's not like it's even bad coverage. It's just the fact that they get like superpowers. Like Like, I'm not even blaming him. Like, that was good coverage. It was just an insane catch.
The worst part, I think, is like it gets amplified so much because no one ever throws at Surtain. So
Right.
Moss is just a hyper targeted because he's A, worse, and B, the other side is Surtain. So it's just like quarterbacks don't even think about it. They just throw it at him, and it just always goes the wrong way. He's the only Broncos player not benefiting from the black magic.
Yes, it's all going to him. But he's accepted that, and he knows his role, and that's why they won't bench him.
Yes, maybe we figured it out. Like,
yeah,
he was his career, his reputation was the sacrifice, and they're just playing him so that they can get away with it.
Yep,
that makes sense. That tracks. Well, a team having the opposite luck is the Arizona Cardinals, and if I was a Cardinals fan, I would be at a loss. I don't know. I don't know. If I was a fan, I just don't think I'd watch the games. I don't know where you go from here. I feel like this organization currently, obviously, it's a mess, but year after year, we just have more questions that don't have answers. And then we don't have answers to our questions from the previous year. And you just don't know what to do. Like, is Kyler the guy? Well, I don't know because he just got hurt again and missed half the year again. But can you move on from him? I don't know. Is John Gannon the guy? I don't know. You just don't know. And that's really it. Like, I love to sit here on this podcast and act like I have the answers to everything. But if I was in charge of the Cardinals right now, I don't know. I'd sit at my desk just tapping my head with my pen and just kind of throwing my hands up like, I don't know, dog. I don't got it for you.
That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah, I mean, like the best thing you've had going is Jacoby Brissett, and like that's pretty clearly not going to be in their long-term plans. So if the one thing that's been going right, that and Michael Wilson, and then they immediately get like just phase him out of the game plan. Don't try that again. Yeah, it would be very, very upsetting. For sure.
Don't try that again. Yeah, that was too good. That was too good. Relax.
Yeah, he only had like 100. That was like the first time a receiver for the Cardinals has had like over like 8 catches in a game outside of like Trey McBride in like years. Since like D-Hop was doing that. And they were just like, yeah, fuck you. They just they're like, yeah, it's Marv's team, buddy. Watch him do the same thing but worse.
Yeah. And then get
paid more than you.
That's really it. I have nothing else on the Cardinals. I'm at a loss.
Yeah. And then for the Raiders, I am blaming everyone because it's everyone's fucking fault. This team, like the head coach, offensive coordinator, the GM, the quarterback, fuck the running back. I am blaming everybody because everything went wrong. Like this is the epitome of gut it. Like they literally gutted everything last year to do this. Scratch that. Like we are 86ing this entire operation. We are restarting again. We are not trying to build off of this whatsoever.
I think subconsciously everyone thinks like, oh, Tom Brady's there, so they'll figure it out. But Tom Brady was most definitely involved in the process for a lot of this, I would like to imagine. So that's not giving me confidence. And if he wasn't involved, then he wasn't involved. What makes me think he's going to suddenly get involved? So
that's what I was thinking. Like if I don't think he was that crazy involved. I think he was just like Chip Kelly. That could work. Sure. Like I don't think he was actually out there. Like I mean, this guy has so many other things he's doing. Like he's a commentator and now he's involved with his family again. He's traveling everywhere. Like I don't really see him being a guy that's hyper focused like on the actual like this guy. I don't think he's watching college tape. Yeah. Like I don't think that he knew who like Tonka Hemingway was when they drafted him. I promise.
I wonder. That's a great question.
Like do you think that he knew who Tommy Millott was when they drafted their second rookie quarterback and turned him into a receiver? Maybe because that actually is a very, very Belichick thing to do. So maybe he was behind that. Maybe he was like, yeah, that's my jewels. I see it in him.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I don't think he would allow that.
I almost think it's so Belichick-like that he would be so against it. Like, didn't they just
Yeah.
weren't they at odds constantly?
Yeah, I mean, they were just both so competitive that like
Yeah.
they're naturally going to be at odds with each other.
That's fair.
But I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, me
Yes.
too. That's why I can't be the Cardinals general manager.
No.
The last division, the South. If I were a Bucs fan right now, I would be amused. You know, thanks to Baker, this is always going to be one of the most entertaining, fun teams to watch in football. And despite all of the injuries, that's still been the case. Baker is just naturally good television. But amused is like as far as I get. I'm enjoying this time with Baker post Brady, but they've kind of plateaued. I think talking about teams that have kind of silently plateaued, I think this is one of them. I don't know, even if they're healthy, how much farther they get than the divisional round. I think I do remember preseason pinning them as a potential conference championship appearance, but after seeing the defense, which I feel like hasn't been as good as I was hoping it would be, and I don't know if there's another level to it, I'm just not sure that this iteration of the Bucs is going to be much more than what it is. And a lot of them are getting very old. So I'm having fun. I'm amused. I'm going to happily ride it out. But I don't think I have expectations of this being something more than what it is currently. And I don't even know if Baker is long-term. I think he could win a Super Bowl on a team. I don't know if it's this one.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they're another team where it's similar to the Chargers, where it's like at some point the universe says, "You guys have had your fun.
Yeah,
I'm taking an All-Pro player from you every single year." Like some teams they get battered, they get injured, but like if you look at a lot of the Super Bowl teams of the last decade, like they win because they're the healthiest. Like the Eagles didn't really have a single major injury except for like Nakobe Dean. That was the one you heard of. It was Nakobe Dean. It wasn't Mike Evans. It wasn't like Tristan Wirfs, who seems to always be injured. These teams are healthy. Travis Kelce, healthy every single year. Chris Jones, healthy every single year. Like the key pieces to these teams are playing full careers, whereas it feels like these Buccaneers players are just shredded. Like Vita Vea, Antoine Winfield. I can't remember the last time these guys are playing a full season.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like their luck, I guess. Like it's some teams have it, some teams don't. They have not created their own luck very well at all.
That's true. I forgot that Winfield has been really banged up this year. That's a good point.
This is like his healthiest year also in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like he's like, I think he missed not most of last year, but he missed a good handful of last year. And I think the year before as well. Like, and he's a top 10 safety easily, but like, who knows? Who knows if he is because he doesn't play. So
right.
I have no idea.
Right.
Their entire offensive line hurt too. Like,
well, yeah, they missed Wirtz for the first like 4 weeks. And Bucky's been out too. Bucky's been in.
Yeah, he just chose not to play. And they have like freaking Cody Mock, like Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Jalen McMillan like broke his neck, and I don't. He's not even back yet. Like, that just sucks. All right. So for my next team, I will go with probably the Texans on a similar way. And you're just praying. You're praying for one. Just let me see one good game from Stroud before I freak out. Like I will say my prayers. I will eat my vitamins. Please give me one good game from Stroud, so I'm not freaking crazy that I prefer Davis Mills.
Yeah, honestly,
because like that was when the team looked their best and all year long, and then with Stroud, you're just like, please, like I've seen it. Like I'm not even calling him bad. I've seen it. I've seen him do this, but for some reason he's on his like third year. He's on like a junior year slump. Not a thing, but he's having one.
He turned the 2023 Browns defense into a piece of thin cheese, like
just Swiss cheese, straight up. Holes in it all over the place.
That was like so beautiful to watch, and since then it's just been like, dude, what are you doing? And like the one game that kept me in on him was the Chiefs playoff game last year, and that was where I felt like he really did his best to put his team on his back. And then it's fourth down right outside the red zone, and George Karlaftis of all fucking guys blows by his right tackle and obliterates him on the most important play of the game, which basically encapsulates his career over the last couple of years. But yeah, it just is hard to defend him when you see him swapped out for Davis Mills and then swapped back in and nothing changes. In fact, you're more scared and you're like, please don't do something stupid, Stroud. And then he does. He's got the bozo gene of Jordan Love.
He is getting that. Like him coming out, everyone was like, he's a pure passer. He doesn't have all like the physical tools of running, but like he's gonna be a great passer. Like right now, like he has the operation to be one. Like the arm is awesome. It's smooth, it's buttery. Like he has what it takes. It's just we haven't seen his best football since he was like 21 years old, which is so annoying. It's like he hasn't even like tried getting better, and he was out here with Caleb last year, trying to mentor him and tell him how to be a good quarterback. And now Caleb is like arguably better.
He's like big broing him, like
yeah, he was big bro him. Now he's little bro, possibly. Like I might say Caleb is better than Stroud.
Yeah, I would not call Stroud's decision making much better than Caleb's right now, and I know for a damn fact that Caleb's a better passer of the football.
He's a better playmaker, 1,000%. Yeah. Like if shit goes down with a bad line, like I trust Caleb to get some stuff done. Stroud at this point in his career, what he's shown for me this season, I don't trust anything from him right now.
No, not in the least. And it does suck because I think out of all quarterbacks, Stafford and Stroud throw the most beautiful, aesthetically pleasing ball. Yep. It just is so clean from the pullback, the release, the spiral, everything is just so smooth.
Watch Dante Moore. I
will be excited to
watch Dante Moore. God, it is the same exact thing. It's so buttery. And it's just straight butter. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, someone that is not buttery and very much more of a hardened plastic. I don't know where that came from. The Panther.
This guy's so hard.
Wet dudes and the hard people.
Yeah.
The Panthers. If I was a Panthers fan right now, I would be in the minority because I would be doubtful, I would be suspicious, and I'd be uncertain. I'd be all of it under the sun because Bryce Young's greatest performance of his entire NFL career just happened against the Rams. And I will, for the first time, happily give him a lot of credit for it. But that was also the first time in how many games now where it genuinely felt like there were signs of a franchise quarterback playing in Carolina. That's very good. It's exciting because finally. But on the other hand, it's been this long. Like I'm not counting the discount Falcons games. Those no longer matter to me. I don't know what it is, but the Falcons, they just haven't figured out. So those games don't count anymore. This is the first time against a good team where I felt like he genuinely did something to keep them in the game and then win it. So I love that. But like I said, I don't trust that it continues. I'm not bought into him being the guy long-term suddenly. And I said this, I think, vaguely a couple weeks ago, but I'm getting Commanders 2024 defense vibes from the Panthers 2025 defense. It just feels like
that's fair.
They're overperforming their expectations, and then they'll go into the offseason thinking, oh, we have a lot of these positions figured out. Our cash, our core, our foundation is really in place. And then they go into 2026 and they're dog shit because, truthfully, these guys just played super well. They gelled well that season for some reason, and it got them as far as they've gotten. But that's not going to be repeatable, and I think they kind of go through that same process. But worst of all, the quarterback is involved in that, whereas the Commanders, that's not the case. So you don't want to get stuck waiting around for these things, which I think they might get tricked into doing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like that's kind of fair. Like the only thing worse than being not very good is being slightly better than not very good and thinking you're really good. Because at least like when you suck, you're well aware and you're going to do everything in your freaking power to not suck anymore. That's the whole thing of tanking. But if you're just only decent, but you think you're really good, which I'm afraid is happening here, they're not going to make the proper moves to really elevate this team. And I think some of this luck that they've had so far this season to win these close, gritty games will will wear off. That's really bad.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's going to be a wake-up call.
Yeah.
That I will be waiting for.
Well, if I am a Jaguars fan, I am mixed. Because on one end, we finally have our coach. We are winning these close games. You know, we have looked like we have an identity finally, but my quarterback that we're supposed to be building it around sucks. That is what we've sacrificed. Is like everything else is actually pretty solid. Like we're winning games. We have a good chance of winning our division, especially if we beat the Colts. Our defense isn't half bad. ETN's kind of back. But the quarterback that was supposed to be like the catalyst of all of this, you know, one of the best quarterback prospects since I've been alive, isn't very good at the sport at the current moment. So a lot of mixed emotions, very like Kyler Murray-esque of like, he hasn't been like replacement bad, but he hasn't been like optimism good. It's just right in the middle of just waiting for him to take that next step. But it's been like 3 years now in a row of kind of plateaued play. In fact, it's almost regressed since his first and second year.
I would say it's regressed. I think like 2022 is his best season, and he hasn't really scratched those numbers. And with that said, at least with Kyler, he's been hurt. So you're wondering.
Sure.
With Trevor, he has suffered injuries. I won't say he's hasn't been hurt.
Injuries and the coaching was a problem. Where it's like his best receiver was Christian Kirk, who was like a gadget guy in Arizona, and he had Urban Meyer, who was kicking his kicker and dancing with young girls in a bar. Like he didn't have a lot going for him, and everyone knew that, which is why he didn't get a lot of flack, really.
Yeah.
But now that he's starting to get a pretty good situation, they're even winning games, like despite him. Now it's to a point where you're like, okay, like you're still a young guy. He's still like 25. Like you still do have time. And in fact, he could definitely, I could see it, him being that next Darnold, that next Daniel Jones of like hitting 28, 29 and becoming good. But right now, franchise guy, Super Bowl on my mind, not happy about it. But we are possibly going to make the playoffs. So like I am happy about that. Just everything else, not maybe not having my quarterback of the future. That sucks.
Yeah, I think the tough pill to swallow with that is just the fact that he's already paid. So
yes,
like you are expecting this explosion to come. You've paid for it. So now that it hasn't come and it doesn't look like it's on the horizon, that's why I'd be freaking out the most. It's like, what did we pay you for? Like, I get it's the ghost of Trent Baalke haunting the Jaguars still, but it happened. So you got to live with it. And this is the reality of the situation. But yeah, maybe he's just maybe he's going to be a late bloomer. Maybe he just needs to play with different colors on. Who knows? But yeah.
Colt.
Colt. How would that happen? No way. No
Viking.
Way. Viking. That would be beautiful, hopefully. Or the biggest headache ever. Kevin O'Connell might kill him after going.
He might kill him
after going through all this year, and he got Lawrence, and he couldn't fix him.
It would still be so much better than anything they've had. Like, it would be night and day, which is crazy because he's not been very good. But it would be so much better than Carson Wentz, who's been their best quarterback, which is crazy to say.
Yeah. Jesus. Well, my second to last team, I have my bright and beautiful Atlanta Falcons. If I were a Falcons fan, I would be smug, yet I would be scared. I would be smug because the only thing that I feel like I'm becoming a broken record, I have harped on is just how I feel like I have telegraphed the entire Atlanta Falcons season since they like hired Raheem Morris and drafted Michael Penix. Like, this was so foreseeable to me. So I'm smug for that reason. I feel like, unlike the Arizona position where I'm dumb and clueless, I feel smart and brilliant here. But to that same point, that doesn't help me if I'm a fan. I'm still terrified. Like, do I trust that they're going to go out and fire Raheem and, eventually decide that maybe Penix isn't the guy? Like, are they going to truthfully figure these things out on their own? Probably not. I don't have any reason to believe that's the case. So I'm scared for that reason. So I can be right all I want. This chair isn't going to make things any different.
That's fair. And like that reminds me of, I forget his name and I feel bad. It was a Browns guy that we had on here that one time. And he
Quincy?
said, yes. And he said something along the lines of, there's no need to come into the season or game pessimistic. Like, it won't save your feelings. You're going to be mad either way.
Yeah.
So like, if you're a Falcons fan and you're like, yeah, I called it, like our coach sucks, I knew it, you still have to live with the fact that you have a shitty coach now. Like, if anything, you'd almost rather be wrong. Like, if you just talk yourself into being right and you've talked yourself into being mad, you were mad before it started and you're still mad now. Like, it's not a good position to be in. It's not even like a feel good, I was right. It's like a feel bad that you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I only feel good that I'm right because I don't got to deal with it. So
yeah,
but if I was a real fan, then yeah,
you're a fan though.
Mad.
Yeah,
yes.
You're a fan. I would be very mad if I was a Falcons fan. But to my next team, if I'm the Titans, the easy answer would just be depressed. But I'm gonna just say I'm looking for a coach. After seeing what we tried to chase in Callahan and seeing what we let go in Vrabel, who's probably going to win Coach of the Year, and his team now has Super Bowl on their mind after one season, I think I would be very depressed, and I'm just on to the next one. But unfortunately, I think they're going to have a hard time getting any of the like premium coaching options to go there. I would put money that Kubiak will not be a resident of Nashville anytime soon, and a lot of good coaches I think will agree with that. So they might be picking from the bottom of the barrel after how they treated Vrabel and how badly this whole thing has been.
Oh yeah, 100%. They will get their Callahan back. They will get another version.
I don't know who that is this season, but
maybe it's
who's a coach that is undeserving of praise for like a really good, like whoever the Seahawks defensive coordinator might be.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna hire him because they think that he was responsible, even though it was McDonald the entire time.
Yes.
I think the guy's British, actually. The Seahawks.
Really?
I don't know why they have a weird defensive coordinator. I don't remember his name.
He's British.
I made that up, but
I was gonna say what?
Wait, no, he is British.
Ooh.
He's British. He's British American.
Interesting. British.
I did know that. Yeah, he's from England. I did know that. I that's not a lie. I thought I made that up. Okay.
That's a pretty good poll to just know that.
Well, I should know his name, but yeah, that's just God. They have nothing to look forward to. Like Cam Ward has been holding it together as much as he can, and he's been poor from like a first overall pick perspective, but like from an overall team perspective, I don't even know what like we can ask him to do better.
No.
Like obviously there are things, but like he's like still one of the best players on the team. Like he would probably win team MVP outside of like Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah.
He's their offensive player of the year.
Oh, easily.
Which is crazy to say because he's not been very good. Easily been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. But like sad. He also doesn't have any help like whatsoever, so I can't blame him.
I think if I had to pick from the list of coordinators that fit that description, I think I would go with maybe Zach Robinson is slightly too premium. But even then, like it doesn't fit the description because the team is bad. So
yeah, their offense is like very average.
Maybe Kevin Patullo. Well, Brian Johnson, I came to find out, got interviews despite how bad that went. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That was insane.
I did remember that. Yeah.
So Patullo, I guess.
Jesus. That'd be nuts though.
Yeah, it would. Well, the last team that I have on my list is the lowly Saints. I left them at the bottom for a reason. And if I'm a Saints fan, I'm just confused. You used this word earlier, and I'm confused if I'm a Saints fan. Like this year was an expected dumpster fire from everybody on the outside and everybody on the inside. And while I think I trust the staff, I have just been confused by most of the decisions that they've made since they've taken over. If you go into 2025 expecting it to be a tank year, a year of rebuilding and restarting, why would you not try to acquire every resource you can to rebuild? Why are there 34-plus-year-old football players still on your team? Why are you drafting a 26-year-old quarterback 40th overall? Why are you trading for a 26-year-old receiver in Devon Vele for a 4th-round pick? Like, why wouldn't you want to maximize everything? Like, just sell it. Sell it. They knew this year was going to be a disaster. You cannot convince me otherwise. So why
Not everybody.
didn't they...
Freaking Theo Ash is out there putting up Saints propaganda online of how good they're actually going to be and why the Tyler Shuck pick was great. A lot of people talk themselves into that. There's a lot of people, but pretty clearly this was the better quarterback draft. Even though this draft has not been how we thought. Last year, Dante Moore or Mendoza would have easily been my QB1. Wouldn't have even been close. Cam Ward would have been a far third. And they weren't even in position to get Cam Ward. They were looking at Shadur or Jackson Dart or Tyler Shuck, who probably would have even been farther down my list last season. So I don't know. Like, the entire process of having a young guy like Rattler that you still could have tried to see what you had with. They did the exact same thing and they picked up Shuck, who also doesn't have a whole lot going for him. So they have two of them, and if they decide not to draft a quarterback, that's just as bad as if they do. Because then the rest of the team still needs help because Kamara's out of here. DeMario Davis has been like holding your defense together, and he's probably retired. They need a lot of help.
They do. They need a ton. So I'm just confused as to what direction you go and whether or not I have faith in the administration. And the second they benched Rattler at the exact halfway point, and then they're like, okay, Shuck, your turn. That's really what told me that they were kind of planning on this being a trial year to some extent. So, like I said, why they didn't sell more is confusing.
Those just weren't the guys to like experiment with. No, like ultimately, if those guys end up becoming the best version of themselves, that's still very much a pretty mediocre quarterback. Whereas
Rattler's fun. Leave Rattler alone. He would be very good. Best version of Rattler would be good.
I don't know. The best, like the version of Rattler people were like freaking out about, like at his best was still like 240, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Like it was good. Like it was fine. But that was like him hitting every throw that he possibly could. And then those stopped happening. And then it was like 145, no touchdowns and 2 picks.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Like he still very clearly could be better. Shuck, I don't. He's so old. I don't understand how much development people thought they had with this guy.
And he's still the best version of Shuck. We're seeing the best version of Shuck.
He makes a couple throws a game where I'm like, okay, like I see why they fell for it, but at the same time, like I don't see a leader. I don't see a guy, a leader of men. I don't see a captain. I don't see anybody that's going to be winning with his legs a ton. I don't see any consistency. Never even heard him speak. I'm just not bought in on this guy at all.
No,
unfortunately.
Do you know the throw, his best throw of his college highlight tape where he's like rolling left?
Rolling in the red zone, yeah.
Yes. That throw fooled the entire fucking world. Like,
but he can do that. Like at this point, I don't even care what you're capable of doing. I know every freaking starting quarterback in college football can do that. Not all of them, but a lot of them can do that. It's just like you can't let this tall blonde, old school looking quarterback get the best of you because like he is not the typical prototype quarterback. He's not a leader. He's, as far as I know, he's not hyper intelligent. He's not what like people think Mendoza is this season. He is just a quiet old man with a really good arm, and he's tall.
Yep.
How often does that? Brandon Whedon was the last time we spoke like that. Maybe Mason Rudolph. I don't.
Yeah,
just bad scouting. Bad scouting.
How much do you think Theo was paid to make that Saints video? He had to have been. He made content.
A Venmo gift card. I don't know. Like
he made content for the Saints, like literal account when Calvin Banks was drafted and everything. So do you like he had to have been? There's no way he convinced himself.
100% was. Yes.
He had to have been.
I don't blame him at all. I would take that.
I would.
I would. Yes.
I'd sell out
I'm
so
not. I'm not
fucking
making
fast.
fun of him here. I'm making fun of the Saints for paying a creator to talk good about their team. It's so funny. I'm not shitting on him here at all. I would 1,000% do that, but
no,
that's just so crazy that was even like a thing that could happen. You make TikTok videos in a podcast, and then a team comes to you, say, "Hey, talk good about my guy, please." Everyone's making fun of him, please. It's like a desperate mom whose like child is being made fun of in school and comes to the teacher like, "Please make him look cool. Like, talk to him in class."
He did a good job though. Like you said,
he did. He convinced a lot of people.
He did.
He convinced Joe A for sure.
He's
still posting saying this is a really good quarterback, by the way.
He victory lapped.
He's still doing that with Levis also, so I don't know.
He victory lapped Max Brosmer's disaster performance. The undrafted free agent playing bad, he victory lapped. He's like, I knew it. You knew it. Against Seattle's defense, you really knew it.
You were the only person that thought that a UDFA quarterback in his debut against a freaking Legion of Boom style defense will play bad. You're the only one that thought that. Ding dong.
We're making fun of him. Let's make that clear. He's getting taunted. Theo, no.
Yes, I'm making fun of him specifically. No, Theo, no.
I would sell out. I don't give a shit. I'd sell out so fast. And people that act like they wouldn't sell out if in a similar position are fraudulent.
You got to have crazy money. I would not sell out if I had like a lot of money in my bank.
Yes.
Like if I got to like high end status, I would not sell out. Right. However, me currently, yes. I don't own a house. I would 1,000% sell out. 1,000% until that shit's paid off. Nope. All right, for my last team, I'm gonna go to the Colts. And my feeling is we are melting. Yeah. Things in our control, outside of our control. Our quarterback that was playing great shattered his fibula into glass shards, and we played the worst officiated game of all time. And Jonathan Taylor he's not down to earth. Like he's playing well, but they're just loading up the boxes, and our passing game's not where it needs to be because Daniel Jones is hurt, and we just look human. Like they're not even playing bad. They haven't played bad in a game really all year. It's just they've just lost a couple really close ones, and they have a really tough schedule down the stretch. And unfortunately, they might miss the playoffs, which is pretty crazy after their start. It's just not really one finger you can point at for anybody. It's just collectively they just kind of dropped the ball there at the end. Possibly they still might make it. I'm not even going to shit on that hard. They might make it still, but it's trending down.
Yeah, it is. And teams like this, I usually am like rooting on their downfall for heavily, like the Panthers, for example. Like I can't do it. But the Colts here, for my own reasons, I've been a fan of, but also just they're just such a good story. How do you not root for Daniel Jones? I guess it's the same for Bryce Young to some extent, but I just think that it just doesn't feel the same. Like they just didn't feel fraudulent, I think is what it is. It's like they actually felt like a true powerhouse force, whereas like the Vikings a few years ago, you saw right through that. The Steelers in 2020, you saw right through that. This was a legitimate team. Then DeForest Buckner goes to IR. Grover Stewart got hurt, I think. Daniel Jones breaks his fucking leg. Like Sauce Gardner's going to miss time. It just suddenly collapsed in a matter of 4 weeks. And that's what happened, which sucks because like I said, they felt like a real team in this conference.
They did. And that sucks. I mean, they still could be if they can get some guys back healthy. It's just playing hurt. Like it's very rare to see a team make a big run when you have an injured quarterback and when you're just unlucky. Like there are some teams that are lucky, some that aren't. They were lucky and it faded pretty quick. Yep. And they've been scrappy. They've been hanging in there. They had that crazy Falcons win where Jonathan Taylor turned into like the best running back of all time. They've had those gritty games where they can win those. They have the offensive line to do those kind of things, but it feels like at this point, if Jonathan Taylor doesn't run for 220 and 3, they're in a really close dogfight that they might lose.
Mm-hmm. Yep, pretty much, which sucks because they've been such a good story so far this season. But who knows? Maybe they'll figure it out. But that will wrap up this episode, which I personally enjoyed a lot. I thought this was a very, very fun thing to do. So let us know if you guys enjoyed equally down in the comment section below. Be sure you join the Discord server linked in the description, and we will see you in episode 80.